Hey, what's up? It's good to see you this morning, this afternoon, this evening. It's good to be with you today. I enjoy being with you every single day. Sometimes it's a push, it's a press, but I thank God for giving me the ability and the strength and the vitality to keep it going, because I understand how important it is for you to hear something that encourages you every day. I need that. I need encouragement every day. How about you? You enjoy hearing a good word. You enjoy watching a good video. You enjoy reading a good book, whatever it is. You enjoy good music because it lifts your spirit. It lifts you up. Well, today, that's what I want to do. I want to lift you up. I want to encourage you. If you are here for the very first time and you're trying to figure out what is going on, this is Strength for Today's Man. We are in volume 122. I come on every single day just to share a daily devotion with the men and also the women that happen to come in and view to see what we're up to. And I appreciate them being here. Thank you for being here, ladies. Today, I want to read Judges, going to that Old Testament today. Judges 2:10. And it reads, when all that generation had been gathered to their fathers, another generation arose after them who did not know the Lord, nor the work which he had done for Israel. So what do we want to talk about today? Pass it on. Pass it on. Whatever God has blessed you with, pass it on to your children. Whatever amazing things God has done for you, share it with your children. Do you not know that a lot can happen in one generation? Just one generation, a lot can happen. Nations can rise and nations can fall in one generation. Resources can increase or be lost forever in one generation. It matters what you share with your children. It matters what you talk about with your children, because you can pass on generational blessings or you can pass on generational curses. It's entirely up to you. Now think about it. Because of who I am today, and what I'm doing today is a result of what my parents taught me. They taught me about the Word of God. They taught me about the blessings of God. They taught me about the amazing things that God has done for them. And I watched. I was a witness. I witnessed the things that God has done for them. So because of their lifestyle and because of what they taught to me and because of what they passed on to me, I was able to pass it on to my children. And so today I see the evidence of what was passed on to me that I passed on to my children, because now my children are talking about the goodness of the Lord. My children know about God. My children know about generational wealth. My children know about passing on the amazing things that God is doing for them to their children. My daughter, she's the only one that has children. She has three. I have three wonderful grandbabies. Well, I can't say grandbabies because they're pretty much about to be 16. One is 10. The other is, I believe, 6 or 7. So it matters what you pass on to your children. So she has passed on what I taught her. And her husband, his parents taught them the exact same thing about the blessings of God. So in their home, they're teaching their children about the blessings of God. So they're passing on generational blessings to their children. So this is why it's important for you as a parent, if you are a parent, to pass on what God has done for you, so your next generations can remember it and pass it on to their children. It's vital that you pass on the blessings of God. Throughout Deuteronomy, in the Old Testament, we see God giving many instructions to Moses. You read about all the things that God had passed on to Moses so Moses can pass it on to the children of Israel. And he taught them and he taught them and he taught them. Now, did I say he taught them? He taught them daily, and he told them, teach it to your children. When they come in, teach them. When they go out, teach them. It's important for you to teach your children about the things of God. A lot of people call it the laws of Moses. It's not the laws of Moses. God gave Moses the law, so they're the laws of God that was passed down to Moses. Can't take any credit, Moses. God instructed Moses So Moses was responsible for passing the instructions on to the children of Israel. Well, today, it's your obligation, it's your responsibility to pass on the teachings of God, pass on the word of God, pass on the blessings of God, pass on the knowledge of God to your children so they can remember, and then they can pass it on to the next generation. Pass it on. There are a lot of things that God shared with Moses, and many of the things that God shared with Moses, many of the instructions ended with God saying something like, when your children ask about why you do this, tell them that I delivered you out of slavery. Tell them that I brought you out of Egypt. Tell them that I delivered you out of the hands of the Pharaoh. This is why Moses instructed the children of Israel to continue to pass on all the things that he taught them so they could remember. It's important to remember where you came from. The reasons why it was important for Moses to continue to remind the children of Israel was very simple: to keep the people from forgetting what God has done. If you don't talk about it, you will eventually forget. This is why I say a lot can happen in one generation. Everything that was taught, all the knowledge that was passed on could be lost forever if it was not passed down to the next generation. The people still had the rituals to follow, but they didn't know why. They didn't understand, why are we doing this? Why do we have to do this? There's so many things today that people are doing, they don't even understand why they're doing it. There's a lot of things that's going on in the church. People don't even know why they're doing it. It's just been passed down from generation to generation, and they don't even teach you why they're doing it. They just say, I don't know, it's just because somebody else taught me, so we're doing it. No, you need to know why you're doing it. Understand where it came from, where it originated from, so you'll understand. And then you can teach it to your generation so they understand. So when they do ask you, why are you doing this? You can sit them down and explain to them, this is why we do what we do. This is why we follow these rules and regulations. This is why we are doing this the way we do it, because it was passed down to us. As men, it's our role to talk about the amazing things that God has done, the amazing things that God is doing. It's our role. It's our responsibility. It's pretty much our obligation to teach our children about the things of God. We give glory and praise to God for his deeds and his work. We look to God to bless us. And when he blesses us, we teach it to our children so they can remember, man, God blessed dad. God blessed mom. And then they can start remembering, well, it was God that blessed them. If we trust him, if we obey him, well, maybe God can do the same for us. We talk about the why. And why do we talk about the why? It's important to talk about the why. Even in business, they ask you, what's your why? And if your why isn't big enough to make you cry, it's not big enough. What is your why in your business, in your life, in your ministry, in your home? What's the why? We talk about the why because we need constant reminder of who God is. We need to know the why because it reminds us what our goals are. It reminds us what our dreams are. It reminds us why we work so hard. It reminds us why we spend sleepless hours figuring out what we need to do next to get us from here to there. It's that why. We talk about it so we'll know, so we'll be reminded of who God is. Let's keep talking about the wonderful things that God has done so the next generation can remember. Pass it on. Let me close with this. Father, it's easy to forget what you have done, and to forget to pass our faith on to the next generation. We forget who you are, and we forget how you have delivered us from our sin. Help us to remember daily your love and sacrifice for us, and to share with others the hope and promise of deliverance for them. Pass it on. This is Strength for Today's Man, Volume 122. Thank you for being here, sharing this moment with me. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the channel, and share the channel with someone else. What's our motto? Don't keep it to yourself. Share the wealth. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the next podcast. You guys be blessed.